truth about us. My name is Laura. I am 30 years old. I live in a big city. I have a good job. I am a dedicated professional. I work hard every day. My life looks very stable. I am engaged to Mark. Mark is my college sweetheart. We met 10 years ago. We have been together for a long time. Mark is kind. He is very reliable. He makes me laugh sometimes. We share an apartment. We share 2 cats. Our life is comfortable. Everyone thinks we are the perfect couple. You're not alone while listening to this story. Likes and comments keep this space alive. We are planning our wedding. The wedding is in 3 months. The invitations are already sent. My mother is very excited. Mark's family is happy. Everything is ready, but I am not ready. I have a big, quiet problem. I carry this problem deep inside me. The problem is a secret. It is a very old secret. It started many years before I met Mark. The secret is David. David is my best friend. He is my childhood friend. We grew up on the same street. We played together in the park. We went to school together. David knows everything about my life. I know everything about his life. Our connection is very deep. It is stronger than any other connection I have. I have loved David for a very long time. I loved him when we were teenagers. I loved him when we went to different universities. I love him now. This love is not just friendship. It is romantic love. It is the kind of love that never goes away. I hide this feeling very carefully. I hide it from Mark. I hide it from my family. Most of all, I hide it from David. I tried to stop loving David. When I started dating Mark, I thought the feeling for David would finally disappear. I thought Mark was the right choice. Mark was present. Mark was available. Mark was safe. I told myself that the past must stay in the past, but the feeling did not leave. It just waited. Now the wedding is close. I cannot sleep well anymore. I look at Mark across the dinner table. He talks about the seating chart. He talks about the honeymoon. He is happy. He is planning our future. I smile, but my smile is fake. My heart feels heavy. I feel like a terrible liar. The lie is too big now. It is getting bigger every day. I cannot marry Mark while I still love another man. This is not fair to Mark. It is not fair to me. It is not fair to David. I realized I must stop everything. I must tell the truth. The truth will hurt everyone, but the lie will hurt us all forever. One evening, I looked at the engagement ring on my finger. It was very bright. It felt like a heavy weight. I knew I had to talk to Mark first. Mark deserved the truth before anyone else. He deserved my full honesty. I waited until Mark came home from work. He was whistling a happy tune. He was carrying pizza. He looked tired but content. I felt a sharp pain in my chest. I knew I was about to break his world. "Mark," I said. My voice was shaking. "We need to talk. We need to talk about the wedding." He put the pizza box down. He saw my face. His smile disappeared quickly. "Laura, what is wrong? Is it the caterer?" "No, it is not the caterer. It is us. I said. I took a deep breath. I cannot marry you, Mark. I am so sorry. Mark did not speak for a long moment. He just looked at me. His eyes were wide. He thought I was joking. What are you saying, Lavra? Are you stressed? We can postpone the date. We can take a break. He tried to touch my hand. I pulled my hand back gently. No, Mark, it is not stress. It is me. I am not ready to be your wife. I cannot marry you because I am not fully committed to you. This was the first layer of the truth. It was hard to say. What does that mean, not fully committed? Mark asked. His voice was low now, very serious. Do you want to end the engagement? I nodded slowly. Tears started to fall down my cheeks. Yes, I must end it. I should have done this a long time ago. I was scared. I was a coward. Mark sat down heavily on the sofa. He put his head in his hands. He looked defeated. Tell me why, Laura, please. 10 years. Was it another man? Is that what this is about? The question hung in the air. It was time for the complete truth. This part was the most painful. Yes, I whispered. There is someone else. There always has been someone else. I tried to make it go away. I tried to choose you. But I cannot lie to you anymore. I love David. Mark lifted his head quickly. He looked completely shocked. His face was pale. David? Your childhood friend, David? Are you serious, Laura? We see David every Sunday for brunch. He was supposed to be a groomsman. I know, I said. It sounds crazy. I know, but the feeling is deep. It is old. I have loved him since I was a child. I kept waiting for it to stop, but it never did. And I cannot stand at the altar and promise you forever when my heart belongs somewhere else. You deserve someone who loves only you, Mark. Truly, completely. Mark stood up. He walked across the room. He was shaking his head slowly. He was angry now. The shock was replaced by pain and fury. You let me plan a life with you. You let me buy a ring. You let me invite hundreds of people. And you knew this? All this time you were just waiting for a good time to tell me you loved David? His voice was loud now. I stood up too. I did not defend myself. I knew he was right to be angry. I was selfish. I was afraid of disappointing everyone. I was afraid of losing the comfort of our life. I am so sorry, Mark. I never wanted to hurt you this much. You are a wonderful man. You did nothing wrong. This is all my fault. We talked for many hours. Mark cried. I cried. He asked difficult questions. He asked if I had ever been intimate with David. I told him no. I told him David did not even know the full extent of my feelings. That made him even more confused. So you are throwing away 10 years, our home, our future, for a secret feeling David doesn't even know about? Mark asked incredulously. I am throwing away the lie, Mark. I corrected him gently. I am choosing honesty, even if it means I end up alone. I cannot start a marriage built on this enormous lie. By dawn, the painful conversation was over. Mark was crushed. He needed space. He agreed that we could not get married. He asked me to leave the apartment for a few days. He needed time to process this massive betrayal. I packed a small bag. As I left, I saw Mark sitting on the sofa, holding the wedding invitation. It was the hardest moment of my life. I had hurt the kindest man I knew, but I felt a strange small flicker of relief. The heavy weight of the secret was gone. The next step was just as terrifying. I had to tell David. I called David that afternoon. My voice was still rough from crying. I asked him to meet me at our old cafe, the one we went to in high school. David arrived looking concerned. He knew something was terribly wrong. He had already seen my strange messages. "Laura, what happened? Are you and Mark okay?" "You look terrible." He sat down opposite me. I took a deep breath. I looked at David. I looked at the man who had been the ghost in my life for years. The man I had always measured every other man against. "David, I broke off the engagement," I started simply. David's eyes widened. "The wedding? Why? Just 3 months away." "Did Mark do something? Did you fight?" "No, Mark did nothing wrong. It was my decision," I said. I paused again. This part was even harder than talking to Mark because David was my best friend. The truth could ruin our friendship forever. "I ended it because I was living a lie," I continued. "I was lying to Mark. I was lying to myself. I need to be honest now, David." With everyone, I leaned forward. I looked straight into his eyes. "David, the reason I cannot marry Mark is you. I love you. I have always loved you, not just as a friend, romantically, completely." Silence filled the cafe. The sound of coffee machines seemed very loud. David just stared at me. He did not look happy. He looked sad and shocked. "Laura," he said finally. His voice was very soft. I didn't know. I had no idea. Why are you telling me this now?" "After 10 years with Mark? After the ring?" "Because I had to stop the wedding," I explained. "I broke Mark's heart today by telling him this truth. I couldn't keep it hidden anymore. I needed you to know the real reason. I need to be free from this secret." David sighed heavily. He ran a hand through his hair. "Wow, Laura, this is huge. This changes everything." I waited for his response. I waited for him to say, "I love you too, Laura. We can finally be together." This was the romantic fantasy I had kept alive for years. But David did not say that. "Laura, I value you more than anyone in the world," David said slowly. "You are my family. You are my constant. But I have never felt that way about you. Not in the way you mean. I love you, yes, but it is platonic. It is brother and sister. I always thought our connection was strong because it was safe, because it was just friendship." His words were gentle, but they were a heavy blow. The long-held fantasy shattered instantly. For years, I had held on to the belief that if I was just honest, David would realize we were meant to be. "I see," I said. My voice was calm, strangely calm. The pain was sharp, but it was a clean pain, not the dull ache of the lie. "I am so sorry, Laura," David continued. "I am sorry you felt like you had to marry Mark because you couldn't tell me this. I feel terrible that you went through all of that alone. I never wanted to hurt you. You didn't hurt me, David, I insisted. My own fear hurt me. My own dishonesty hurt me. You are being honest now. That is all I ever wanted. We sat there for a long time. We talked about how our friendship would change. I told him I understood. I told him he had nothing to apologize for. The truth was painful, but it was liberating. I had finally confessed my enduring love, and I had received the clear answer. The door to that possibility was now officially closed. I went back to the apartment to collect the rest of my things. Mark and I spoke briefly. He was still hurt, but he was starting to move forward. We agreed that selling the apartment was necessary. We needed a fresh start, separate lives. Mark was angry for a while. He sent me one message that said, "I hope the honesty was worth the cost, Lara." I knew the cost was immense. I had lost the safe future I had planned. I had caused great emotional damage. But the honesty was worth it. After the dust settled, I moved into a small temporary apartment. I was alone for the first time in 10 years. My life was empty of comfort and routine, but it was full of truth. I had no Mark. I had no David as a romantic partner. I only had myself. And I had the relief of knowing I was finally living authentically. I focused on my job. I spent time reflecting on why I had been so afraid of telling the truth. I realized I had used Mark as a shield against the scary uncertainty of true love and true disappointment. The romantic outcome was simple. I was single. The emotional outcome was profound. I was free. Mark and I eventually managed a civil conversation. He told me he was starting to understand that our relationship was not fair to him either. He said he saw now that I had never been fully present. He thanked me weakly for stopping the wedding before it was too late. He was beginning his healing process. David and I kept a distance for a few months. Our friendship needed time to reorganize itself around the massive confession. We did not want the intensity of my past feelings to ruin the future of our bond. The emotional closure was achieved, but the rebuilding took effort. I learned that honesty is not just about what you say to others. It is about what you say to yourself. I had to look at my life and accept that the great love story I imagined with David was only ever a story in my head. I had to accept that a comfortable, good relationship with Mark was not enough if it lacked true, soul-deep love. My life is quiet now. I spend my evenings reading. I spend my weekends walking in the city. I am building a foundation of truth. I am waiting for the person I will truly love and who will truly love me back. I am waiting for a relationship where I do not need a secret love waiting in the wings. The pain of the breakup was deep. The pain of David's rejection was real, but the emotional liberation I feel is much stronger. I am 30 years old. I am starting over. I am building a life based on pure honesty. I have nothing to hide anymore. This is the truth about us, and finally, the truth about me. I am finally free to find a real future, whatever it may look like. I know that true happiness must be built on a foundation of absolute truth, and I will never settle for less again. I am ready for whatever comes next because I am finally honest. I am ready to live my life for me without fear of the truth. I am finally ready to be fully present in my own life. I am ready to start again. I choose honesty every day now. I am not afraid of the consequences anymore. I know I did the right thing. It was the only choice I could make. My future is open and honest. Share your thoughts in the comments, like the video, and subscribe.